Sunday Service, episode number 62, coming right at you, hot off of UFC 321. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic because I think it got messed up. But man, terrible card, honestly. I really thought the card sucked, but I also did terrible betting. So that's usually a great recipe for me to hate a card. But honestly, when I think about how the fights played out, main card was not very good. Main event ended in a no contest. We'll talk about that for sure. Co-main event, it went 5 rounds. It was kind of a back and forth fight, but honestly, it wasn't really all that entertaining. Umar versus Bautista had a couple moments, but overall, it was just Umar beating him to positions on the ground. Almeida, Volkov, extremely boring. And then Mirzakhanov's KO was pretty sick, but very, very short-lived fight because Rakic got KO'd in round 1. So overall, I thought the main card sucked. And I'm actually a little bit pissed because I paid $80 for that. And I wanted to tweet at ESPN and be like, yo, what up? All right, we get a no contest in the main event. Can I get my money back? Can I get the next pay-per-view for free? Or the last? There's 2 more. 2 more pay-per-views. Can I get 1 more for free, please? Sucked to end the night with that. Prelims were kind of shit as well. Honestly, just a real bad card. Just a real bad card. Like, I really can't say much that was great about it. There was a couple nice knockouts. Quillen Sal killed. Insane knockout. That might have been the knockout of the year. So I got to give him that. But what else happened on the prelims? I mean, I guess Walter Walker got another sub. There was a couple big upsets, which killed me on the bets, but a couple big upsets. So I'm going to acknowledge them. That's about it, man. That's about it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of controversy going on with the main event. Rebecca versus Klein was a good war. I will say that. I forgot about that. That was a good fight. Rebecca versus Klein was a good fight. I expected it to be a great fight, but it was a good fight. Round 3 could have been a little bit better if Rebecca was able to get to a dominant position, because Klein broke his ankle and then couldn't really do much, just was trying to hold on to get to the decision. I don't know how they gave Klein a 10-8 in round 2. It makes no sense to me. It should have been a draw. Klein got the first 2, Rebecca 10-8 in the third. Should have been a draw, but it wasn't. So that sucks for Rebecca. And me, unfortunately, awful night of betting, dude. It just was brutal, man. I didn't hit a bet the whole prelims. I didn't hit a bet. And then the main card, I was like, all right, we could turn it around. Hit a bet. Then that was it. Couldn't turn it around. Just a bloodbath out there. Just an absolute bloodbath. But let's talk about the main event. We'll hit some of these chats, go over some of these chats, and then we'll hop into, some recap stuff. Get you my thoughts on some stuff. See what you guys want to talk about. Romeo Dobbs Stan. Best thing to come of this, Tom Aspinall minus 185 in the rematch, hammering. I did see that. And I guess that really means the books think their line was off, because Aspinall is minus 400 and now he's minus 185 in the rematch. They think their odds were completely off. So, and I agree. I do agree. A lot of people are going to say that Cyril Gane was whooping up on Tom, but it was a competitive round, man. It was a really competitive round. The only reason why you would say Cyril Gane was whooping up on Tom was because Tom's nose was bleeding, but it didn't really look like he had a broken nose. Didn't look like he was affected by the nosebleed, but then he got poked in the eye and the fight was over. So I do think Cyril Gane was kind of on his way to winning, because if you get out of round 1 against Tom Aspinall, I'm going to give you a pretty good shot to win the fight, especially when you're the guy that has the 5-round experience. You're the guy that is kind of winning the striking exchanges early. It's competitive, but I give it a slight edge to Cyril Gane in round 1. I just expected him to kind of pull away as the fight would go on. So it's very clear that not only most fans, but also the sports books that have millions of dollars to go into this research think Cyril Gane was winning the fight. I got to agree. I think he was on his way to winning. And I told you guys, better watch out. Tom Aspinall minus 400. I don't know. It's a little dicey. But now in the rematch, we'll see how it happens. I don't really know if Tom's going to be able to come back that quick, because that eye poke did look pretty nasty, double eye poke, but it looked like it was his right eye that was really the one messing up. And I just watched his YouTube video before I got on here. He's at the hospital and he can barely take his eye patch off. If they shine a light in him, he's like freaking out. So it's pretty clear, unless Tom Aspinall is just some amazing actor or he's just truly milking it, it's pretty clear his eye's messed up. That could ruin his career. Like, we don't know. There's no coming back from eye injuries. Like, there's a reason Michael Bisping couldn't get his eye fixed. He had to fight with one eye because you can't fix an eye. So it could end, or at least could derail Tom Aspinall's career. Maybe he's going to have to take off 6 months, and then maybe he's going to be forced to vacate the heavyweight title because they got to get a new champion, or they got to have a heavyweight title fight. So this could completely derail Tom Aspinall's career if his eye injury is truly detrimental. Like, if it's going to be keeping him out of competition, or if he doesn't feel like he's going to be able to compete at a high level and he's going to have to sit out. Henry Cejudo just earlier this year got his eye destroyed in a main event as well against Song Yadong from an eye poke. And just recently he said it still affects him. I'm pretty sure that fight was in like February or March. I think it was February. And that's 9 months later. He says that eye poke still affects him. Like, there's still stuff that he cannot function in his eye from the eye poke. So that eye poke that Ciryl Gane put on Tom Aspinall could legitimately ruin his career, could alter his career forever. That's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked, man. And I don't like it. I don't like it. What up, Robbie? How we doing? I think I know the answer, but RDR double champ. Hey, 0 now, Munir. I needed you last week, brother. Good call on Volkov 3-teamer. That was sneaky heavyweights. Heavyweights parlay. The big boys, Big Ham, Big Volt, and Big Volk got her done. Boring card. It was not very good. Just stream it. I'm not streaming it, bro. I'm not dealing with a bunch of pop-up ads. Not my thing. Hell of a good war. That was a bloodbath. Agreed. That head kick was flush. I almost bet Saul killed by KO. Dude, I did not expect Saul killed to KO him. I don't think there was many that expected him to win by KO. But if you could hit a guy with a head kick like that, they ain't coming back. And honestly, I thought for a second there, this might be the time where something really bad happens in the octagon, because Nasrat was not getting up, and that head kick kind of hit him towards like the back of the head. It was the side of the head, but it kind of like wrapped around the back. So I was like, oh God, dude. And the way that he fell, just face plant, he fell kind of like Tyron Woodley did against Jake Paul. Just face plant, arms are straight down, his legs are twitching. Disgusting KO. But hell of a knockout by Khalid Salkild. Henry got eye poked and fought it out. He didn't fight it out, though. He didn't. He went to the end of the round, and then he stopped the fight. They stopped the fight because he said he couldn't continue. So not the case. Not the case. When divisions need a conclusion, they even get more convoluted. Dude, this actually reminded me of when Jan Blachowicz and Ankalaev fought for the title, because Yuri vacated it due to his shoulder injury, and it went to a draw. And then a month later, they had Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira. I was like, are they going to just, a couple months later, are they just going to do like Pereira and Jones for the heavyweight title and just fucking strip them? Kind of made me worried. Had $500, 500 euros. I'm gone at plus 370. I had the worst last 24 hours dwelling on it. I think you would have hit, dude. Honestly, I think you would have hit. Very disappointing card, JJ. I agree. It seemed accidental, but as a professional fighter, he should have better training to not put a hand out instead of a fist out as a reaction. Yeah, that was, he did it multiple times. There was one very blatant one where he literally used his hand as a way to stop Tom Aspinall's takedown. The only takedown that Tom Aspinall shot, or at least looked like he was attempting, Ciryl Gane put his hand out and palmed his face and kind of eye poked him there again, or the first time. kind of eye poked him trying to stuff a takedown. Insanity, dude. Like, I don't know what the fuck they got to do because it's not the gloves. There's fighters that go their whole career without having eye poke issues. There's just certain fighters that have eye poke issues. Jon Jones, famous for it. Leon Edwards, famous for it. Cyril Gane, famous for it. It's these longer guys that like to keep their range that have the eye poke issues because their arms are always out. They're always trying to keep you at range, and they're always trying to alter your momentum coming forward. So they just put their fucking eye or put their hand out there into your eyes. If you run into it, you're going to run into their hand and they're going to fucking eye poke you. So there's certain fighters that they don't have a problem with eye pokes. They're not going to do them. They'll probably go their whole career never having poked somebody in the eye. And then there's certain fighters where it happens all the time. So what's the issue there? The issue is the fighters that it happens to all the time, maybe fucking work on it. Maybe work on not eye poking because it's cheating. And cheating works. Cheating does work. So I guess in MMA, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So you can go ahead and eye poke. Maybe you'll get a point taken off. But even if you eye poke somebody and they can't continue, you're not going to be the one at fault because they're going to call the other guy a pussy for not continuing. Cheaters are just, it's insane that in this sport you can cheat and it's only going to benefit you. It's only going to benefit you. Cheat as much as you want, you'll be fine. There's no repercussions. On the odd chance that you get a point taken away, it's probably not even going to matter. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. MMA Guru pointed this out. If Rebecki and his team noticed and decided to get off the ground, and yeah, I was actually thinking that. Because in round 3, he got to like half guard. I was like, Rebecki, you need a finish here, bro. You need a finish. So you either gotta go to mount and start raining down elbows, or you got to go to mount and hope he like gives up his back and look for a choke. Because even though you're going to sit in half guard and elbow is facing, you're not going to finish him. And at worst, you're going to get a 10-8. It's going to be a draw. So you either got to go to mount or you got to let him up. If he, it would be tough to know if a guy's ankle is broken, you know. But even if his ankle was broken, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I feel like if his ankle was broken and he stood up, I feel like Klein would have stood up. You know, like in the heat of the moment, if Rebecki's like, all right, no, just stand up. Klein's got a broken ankle. He's not going to just lay on the ground and accept defeat. I feel like he's going to get back up. Right? I know he couldn't stand after the fight, but why would you stand? You know, you don't need to stand. Gane was not winning clearly. He barely landed more strikes. People were surprised because he is such a big underdog. I didn't say he was clearly winning. I said he's on his way to winning the fight. It looked to me like Gane was on his way to winning the fight, but I don't think he clearly won round 1. I think I would have scored a 10-9 for him. I would have, it wasn't a dominant round, but I think he did the more damage, right? It was close in strikes, but Gane was the guy that bloodied him up. He inflicted more damage. So I would score round 1 for Cyril Gane. That's not to say Cyril wouldn't go into next round against Tom and get taken down and get submitted, or Tom could knock him out in round 1. It just felt like, to me, Cyril was probably on his way to winning the fight. But you can't really say he was clearly going to because it's MMA. There's 4 rounds after that, and a lot of shit could happen. But that's what it felt like to me. Rakic getting dropped with a jab. That was crazy. But Mirzakhanov, dude, that dude is, I fucking love that dude. Gane might have won the first, but he was going to get finished eventually. Possibly. They really put Bo Nickel and Vieira over BSD. And oh my God, they did. I didn't even know that fight was on the card. Is it actually on the card? No, that's not on the card, bro. Oh my God, it is. Holy shit, that's a good fight. How did I not know that? What a disgusting move. Absolutely disgusting move by the UFC. Puts Bo Nickel on the main card instead of BST versus Beneil Dariush. Insanity. That's actually insane. Disgusting. Disgusting stuff. Dana, Chael, and Smith had some of the worst takes afterwards. They find ways to critique Tom and give no criticism to Gane. I agree with that. I don't know what the fuck Chael and Anthony Smith are talking about, saying it's clear he didn't want to fight because he said he couldn't see. Buddy, sorry, but you probably shouldn't continue fighting if you can't see out of an eye. All right, you shouldn't continue fighting if you can't see out of one eye, let alone a double eye poke. So you want him to go in there and fight blind in a heavyweight title fight. Brain dead fucking takes from Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith. And I like both of those guys. What the fuck are we doing? But I also respect that they're willing to go out on a limb and say that. The last thing that I would want to see if I go to the post show is to see Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith being like, yeah, I really hope Tom Aspinall recovers from this. So I love that. I love it. I love that they're actually just speaking their mind. I think it's a terrible take, but I love that they are able to speak their mind instead of just tiptoeing the line, being like, it really sucks, man. It just really sucks that the heavyweight fight had to end in a no contest. Sucks for everybody that's involved. Yeah, obviously it sucks. Give me your take. So I respect it, but I think it's a terrible take. Terrible take. Look, this fight solidified what I was trying to figure out. What would happen if Tommy and Jon fight? I mean, Jon would have fucking eye poked him earlier than that. I can tell you that. Tom is a quitter, says Saint Try. Okay. This is karma for the UFC for screwing Volkov. They didn't screw him. The athletic commission definitely screwed him, though. Definitely screwed him. But he got his lick back on Almeida because he probably shouldn't have won that fight, honestly. But I'm glad he did, and I'm glad damage finally trumped some pussy-ass control time on the ground. Let me pop this Chino. I'm going to get to you real quick. Dixon, I'm on my way. I just had to pop a Chino before I read your chat. Hey, Jive. I'm live from under a bridge because I'm homeless after last night. Well, lucky for you, there's always next week, brother. There's always next week. He damaged his cornea, which is what I said. Who do you got on Poetan versus Johnny? Give me fucking Poetan, bro. Give me fucking Poetan. Dana seems so disinterested in everything nowadays. Like he doesn't even care about UFC from a fan perspective. Yeah, honestly, I kind of agree. It seems to me like Dana is disinterested with being the CEO of the UFC. It seems like he's more interested in finding something new that he could just get excited about with the boxing, with the power slap. And honestly, he is way more excited about Dana White Contender Series than he is about any UFC fight. Any UFC fight, he's just there. He wants to get shit over with. Press conference, he's like, all right, let's wrap this up. Post-fight press conference at UFC 321. It was about 15 minutes. Okay. But Dana White Contender Series, that dude is fucking pumped up. And I can't blame him because there are some real shitty fights in the UFC. There's a few shitty fights on the Contender Series, but it just seems like he's not interested in what's going on with the UFC anymore. Like he's going through the motions. He's like, I could show up to this. I guess, he doesn't really show up to anything unless it's in the Middle East. He's not going over to Australia. He's not going to fucking Canada. He's only going over to Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia or fucking Qatar. He's only showing up over there. Even some of the pay-per-views, it honestly doesn't even seem like he cares. Like a Las Vegas pay-per-view, he's like, oh, who fucking cares, man? Who cares? Just going through the motions. Aspinall quit. Yeah. Did MGM have a fight ends by death problem? They did not. That's fucked. That's fucked. Nasrat versus Jubilee. Book it. Looked like Gaethje KO versus Dustin. That's true. It did look like that. But he didn't fall. Poirier fell on his back. Either fighter by KO was the best bet to make. That Salkill versus Salkill Rahiki parlay. They both train at the same gym. And are probably going to be in the Australia card in February. It's looking real nice. I can't wait for Rahiki to get in the UFC. DraftKings is refusing to pay out my Klein plus over 1.5 same game parlay. Anyone else having this issue? Saw one other person complaining about the same thing. I have no idea, but they should definitely pay out because that hit. Gane is just a dirty fighter. He literally fouls in every single fight. Nut shots, eye pokes, whatever it is, he'll get away with it. Gane is my most hated fighter on the roster. Gets the most free title shots ever. Gets to duck all top contenders. Always cheats and gets no criticism from Dana or the press. I agree. But the thing is, as much as I would love to hate Cyril Gane, the guy is kind of likable. He's kind of just he's just kind of a chill guy. He's just out fucking playing basketball with Rudy Gobert. He's just fucking huge motherfucker. Like, the dude just seems like he's a chill dude. So I want to hate him, but he is a kind of a cheater. But I can't really hate him. I do agree with everything you said, though. Underdog just put out strikes for next week. Oh my God. I got to go take a look after this. Matt Hughes said years ago, regardless of the gloves, fighters who want to throw punches and not pokes will do so. Those who want to poke you will do it. Agreed. Those who want to possibly poke you in the eye and gain an advantage will go ahead and poke you in the eye. Those who will not make that a habit will not get eye poke fouls. No glove could solve eye pokes. They tried it. You remember that, boys? You remember the whole glove gate? All right, the one of the big contributors to the glove gate, where they tried to bring in these new gloves that were going to fix eye pokes, but then we stopped getting KOs, and your boy did a little bit of statistics, worked some magic, and then all of a sudden, Jon Jones fight comes around, the gloves are gone. Y'all remember that? That was about a year ago. Essentially a year ago, in November last year. Crazy stuff, boys. That's one that I'll remember forever. All right. I was a main reason why the UFC got rid of their new gloves. If you want proof, I have proof. I'm just saying. Your boy did something. Your boy did something to impact the UFC. Okay. If the replay shows an eye poke, immediately point reduction. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is, like, not all eye pokes are made the same. It's kind of like not all nut shots are made the same. But I do kind of agree. Like, maybe you take like a half point. I feel like one, I don't know. It's so subjective. Because like one eye poke, I don't know, maybe you were like in the clinch and you like wanted to push away and you accidentally got it. One eye poke, I guess it should, honestly. I want to give some leeway because there are accidents. But there's some fighters where it's not accidents. Like, it's all the time. So I want to give some leeway. But in order to get away from these eye pokes, I think you just got to take a point. First eye poke, go to the replay. If it was an eye poke, take a point. It's probably the only way. But the thing is, once you start doing that, like, it's going to be a transition period to where there's going to be a lot of fucking points taken. There's going to be a lot of points taken. And then it becomes like, okay, well, nut shots, are you going to take a point the first nut shot? I don't know. It's tough, man. Mirzakhana round 1 KO was free. True. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You really ain't. Smash the like button for me. Appreciate that, Dan. Hope you had a good Saturday. I did not. They didn't know about the injury. What injury? Herzog say it wasn't intentional, so it doesn't deserve the DQ. The Tar did the same thing. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you guys saw this, but in Tom Aspinall's video he posted after the fight, Jason Herzog is in the back room before the fight telling him that fouls happen and fouls will like help the person inflicting the fouls. So he knew. I don't know if he says this to everybody, but he knew like cheaters get away with stuff. So like why? And then you go out there and he eye pokes him and it's not a DQ. Like I get why it's not a DQ, but at some point it probably should be. Full guard ground and pound is a very dominant position and safe position. Yeah, you can't finish the fight there. Very rare are you going to. Anyone else hate Tom Aspinall now? I can't stand him now after how big his ego is just to get cooked by Gane and quit the fight because you were getting pieced up and scared to fight with injured eye. That's kind of a crazy take, bro. I'm not going to lie. Kind of a crazy take. Wouldn't you not like Cyril Gane, the guy that's inflicting the illegal move that ended the fight? Kind of wild, bro. Kind of wild. Abu Dhabi fans are the worst. Front row is empty. It is always terrible there. Which fighter is he protecting the cheats or the one getting fouled? Clearly 1 round 1. Early predictions for Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I'm going to go with it's 3 rounds. I believe it's 3 rounds. I'm going to go with Sean. Where does the guy show ego? Yeah, I kind of agree. Cyril was up 2-0 versus Francis. That is true. That is very true. You're not wrong there, biker boy. You're not wrong. Stop sucking Jones's dick. We set the bar so high. I'm not even a Jones fan, dude. I'm actually a Jones hater. I'm not saying it was a bad performance either. Remember what happened? Yeah, I agree. It was not even close. Tom was bleeding everywhere. Oh my God. Just the duality of what's going on in this chat right now. You have one guy that thinks Cyril Gane clearly was winning the fight, was piecing up Tom Aspinall, not Jon Jones. One guy thinks Cyril Gane was piecing up Tom Aspinall, had his face bloodied up, and was just absolutely whooping his ass. And then on the other hand, you have probably a more reasonable take, right? Tom Aspinall was a competitive round 1. It's a 5-round fight. Cyril Gane was up 2 rounds against Francis Ngannou before he lost the fight. So a lot could have happened. I'm going to lean towards the second one there and say that a lot could happen. But to me, it did look like Cyril Gane was on his way to win the fight. If I had to choose who I think was going to win the fight based off of round 1, I would probably say Cyril Gane. But that's just based off of what we know about both fighters. I'm not saying Tom Aspinall wouldn't come back in round 2 and finish him, or Tom Aspinall might have insanely good cardio and be able to win the fight over the course of 5 rounds. We just don't know that. Hey, Drive, what would you rate that eye poke out of 10? Honestly, it wasn't some of the worst that I've seen, but it was pretty bad. I would give it like an 8. 8 out of 10. It was pretty bad. Double eye poke. When the guy literally can't open his eye, like it's not even possible for him to open his eye, then you know it's really bad. When they're able to kind of open it and wipe the towel around it and stuff, then it's okay, they're going to be okay. But the fact that his eye was closed the entire time, it's so fucked up. He can't even open it. And then you watch his video on his YouTube channel when he's at the doctor hours later and he has the eye patch on and they take it off and they tell him to open it and they try to pry it open and he's literally can't open it. And then they try to shine a light on it and he's getting all fucked up about it. I can't doubt that the guy got eye poked really fucking bad. You know, I'm not going to doubt that at all. Chael and Smith are just paid UFC shills getting used by the company. Okay, well, I mean, I don't think they were paid to say that. I guess maybe they probably just have him on because they're willing to say their shit, you know? They were definitely instructed by the UFC. He quit and could see perfectly fine. He did not. I highly doubt he could see perfectly fine, dude. Now they're just fucking arguing in the chat. Did you see you was on Brendan Allen's edit on his IG post? Yeah. Let me say this. Like, I always find it funny that fighters who win their fight will go ahead and find comments or clips of people giving breakdowns or people giving predictions saying that they're going to lose, and they'll make an edit about that after they win. Where's the fighters that lose and then go back and find clips of people saying that they're going to lose and acknowledge that, you know? Because Brendan Allen's lost fights in the UFC before. And I'm pretty sure every time after that, he's not going and trying to find clips of people saying he's going to lose and make an edit about that for his Instagram. So I just think it's funny, you know? I just think it's funny. But do you, man? Do you? Got to get your follower count up, right? Do you think the cut to 185 is going to be bad for your boy Dante Johnson this upcoming week against Dumas? He better be on your many-man parlay. I don't think it's going to be bad at all, honestly. I don't think it's going to be bad at all. I think he's going to run through Dumas, honestly. I think he's going to smoke him. John kills Tom. Nice, dude. I have a replica UFC belt signed by Tom Aspinall and Taporia. How much value you think it's worth? You want to sell it to me, bro? You have a letter of authenticity? I'll buy that real quick. Volkov clearly won. I mean, it's tough, dude. Like, I was surprised they actually gave it to him because they almost never give the guy that's landing more damage the decision, but it was the right decision. You know, Volkov clearly wanted to win the fight more. Let me just look at these stats. So it was a split decision, right? I agree with the decision to go to Volkov because look at these stats. 15 minutes of action. Alexander Volkov landed 24 significant strikes compared to Jailton Almeida's 9 significant strikes. And not only that, Alexander Volkov landed 123 total strikes compared to Jailton Almeida's 27. So he landed almost 100 more total strikes than Jailton Almeida in a 15-minute fight, where Almeida had 10 minutes of control time. 10 minutes, over 10 minutes of control time. And Almeida only landed 27 total strikes. Total. He only attempted 33 total strikes. That is the definition of lay and pray. Those guys should not be winning fights in the UFC. They should not be getting their hand raised when they're just laying and praying. And for once, thank you to the judges that scored it for Alexander Volkov, the guy that was actually going in there trying to fight. And before you comment, this is MMA. If you want to watch kickboxing, go watch kickboxing. Buddy, this is the Ultimate Fighting Championship, not the Ultimate Mixed Martial Arts Championship. Okay? We want to go see fights. We don't want to see MMA competition. We want to see fights. And it's very clear there was one guy in that cage that wanted to fight, and it was Volkov because he landed 123 total strikes, and Jailton Almeida only landed 27. So you got to give the victory to the guy that was wanting to fight and inflicting more damage. Thank God they didn't let Almeida walk out of there with a W. You're right, John. Kills him with eye pokes, too. I had Volkov on my parlays, but he got lucky because Jailton managed to get Volkov's. He did, but I don't even know how that fucking happened. I think Volkov might have bloodied his own ear, honestly. I'm thinking next week, Ardeline beats Conejo by KO. She trains here in El Paso at Elite Kickboxing. Not going to lie, she sucks. Dang. Well, that's good to know. My girl Ardeline back in action. From your eyes, who won between Wood and Delgado? Honestly, that was a sick fight. I didn't even talk about that, but that was a good fight. I got to give him that. Honestly, I thought Delgado was going to get the scorecards because it felt like to me, Delgado won round 1 and rounds 2 and 3 were close and Wood technically outlanded him by the numbers, but it felt to me like Delgado was landing his shots with a little bit more impact, and Wood landed some decent shots, but a lot of his strikes were like just touching shots. So I thought they would give it to Delgado. I was quite surprised that Nathaniel Wood got that decision. Oh, he does love new talent because he doesn't have to pay new talent. Shit, that's true. That is very true. Damn, we're all the way back there. We got hella people in the chat tonight. I appreciate everybody for joining. I'm sorry I'm way behind on the chats, but I don't really like to skip over them because there's usually some good nuggets in here. He didn't wait the full 5 minutes. He definitely did. Didn't you and Matty hit the heel hook prop on MGM? No. It was plus 150, dude. It was like barely anything better than his sub. Can we talk about that? Holy shit, dude. I gotta fucking say something about the heavyweight division. Last night's or yesterday's UFC 321 card was just the epitome of where the heavyweight division is at. The title fight ends in a no contest. So we don't know who the fuck is truly the champion right now. It's still Tom Aspinall, but he couldn't defend it because it ended in an eye poke. Then you got the number 1 contender fight in Volkov and Almeida. Almeida's laying and praying. Volkov wins a split decision because he's landing elbows off his back. Disgusting. And then you got Walter Walker, who's just out here heel hooking everybody because heavyweights don't know how to grapple. He's hit 4 heel hooks in a row. So all you need at heavyweight is one good move, and you can win every single fucking fight, maybe until you get to the top 10. And then you got Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. 2 of the fattest, ugliest looking heavyweights I've ever seen. Disgusting fight. Chris Barnett is out there with his ass out. Hamdi Abdelwahab's tits are jiggling at every fucking move. Hamdi's just ragdolling him. He doesn't know what jiu-jitsu is. He never even attempted to finish the fight on the ground because he couldn't get his legs around Chris Barnett's belly to lock in a body triangle, to even try to look for a submission. I don't even know if he knows what jiu-jitsu is. Just disgusting stuff, dude. Disgusting stuff. The Chris Barnett project has got to just come to an end. It's got to be over. It's got to be over. We can't have Chris Barnett out there with his pants falling down, whole ass out. It wasn't just once, too. It was multiple times. All right. He's getting picked up and dumped every time by an Egyptian wrestler who's got double D tits with hair everywhere. Chris Barnett's pants are falling down. They have to stop the fight to let him pull his pants back up. He's falling down. It looks like he's tearing everything in his leg every time he falls down. They're both just huffing and puffing, just covered in sweat. Just 2 blobs rolling around on the ground. It looked really bad. It looks just disgusting. And then the fact that Walter Walker called him chocolate Peppa Pig. Chocolate Peppa Pig. Yeah, that's got to be over with. We can't have that. All right, that we got to set a standard that can never happen again. Okay? I know there's not much going on with the heavyweight division, but that kind of stuff, all right? I had some friends over to watch the fights last night or yesterday. And that's what they fucking see, you know? That's what they see. They see Chris Barnett's ass hanging out. Like, how are they going to ever watch that again? It's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, man. Disgusting. Oh, Chris Barnett's cheeks out on live television. Like, what are we doing, boys? What are we doing? I feel like Aspinall is going to have the advantage in the second fight now that he has cage time and tape for the study. Yeah, I kind of agree. UFC wants him to be champion. I don't know why they have a UFC friend. I know. They want a French champion, dude. Is that in that Aspinall video? They told Tom over and over, don't rush anything. Gane won the round, but I didn't see anything that would make me pick Gane in the rematch. Tom just has more ways to win. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. There's a reason he's still the favorite, right? We should allow the ref to eye poke them back and let the fight. If you land an eye poke, the ref gets to eye poke you. That'd be crazy. Quick story. I messed my ankle pretty bad Thursday, and then Ludovic Klein and Cam Scadaboo both messed theirs up. And to add to that, never see a fighter win a fight on a stool. True. It was pretty weird. First fight ruined all my parlays. Is that a rule, though? Is that a rule? Like, if you can't get up after the third round, is that a round 3 TKO? Like, is that the fight if you can't get up? I feel like that is kind of a rule. Because isn't that how Merab lost? Or am I tripping? Merab lost against Ricky Simone because he was out cold when the third round finished. So then he lost by technical submission. But Ludovic Klein can't get up after round 3 against Mateusz Rambetsi because his ankle is broken, but that's not a technical TKO. Very weird. Am I the only one who thought Tom just looked bad? His standard 1-2 was nice as always, but once he realized Gane was circling and avoiding the power side, I think with Gane, like it's just gonna take a little bit of time to find him, you know? Took Tuivasa, 2 rounds to find it? It's true. He's got a deeper bag. Gane was flowing, but it's a 5-round fight. Tom would have adjusted and got him out of there. It's fair. It's a fair take. If you take away a point for an eye poke, watch eye pokes completely disappear from the sport. Most fighters in the stand-up should have their hands closed unless you're a weirdo like Sean Woodson. It's always the long motherfuckers, dude. It's always the long motherfuckers. Just don't know how to fucking make a fist. Gane was winning, to be fair. Not as close as the stats suggest, just based off a bloody nose, I guess. The fight was very even. Look at the stats. It's true. People pretending that winning 1 round means you're going to win the fight. Watch Corey Merab. They're not the same. I agree, but they're not like the same thing. More than 3 of them were jabs to the body. There was a couple of good jabs to the nose of Tom, but Tom landed a few good 2s. I'd say Tom kicks were better, and he landed more headshots. He did land more headshots. It's true. Eye poke saved a lot of parlays. Gane only landed 2 more significant strikes. It was actually 3. So back to my, oh my God, everybody's just fucking going at each other. Gane landed some nasty shots that Tom was leaking. I think he underestimated Gane and was scared and potentially, I don't think he quit, man. I think that's pretty nuts to say he quit. Anyone blaming Tom for being a quitter or how the fight ended should never have a child. These people are special kind of stupid. I agree. If you think Tom Aspinall just quit from an eye poke, you're borderline retarded, dude. Like, he's not going to go in there, fight for 4 minutes, and just be like, yeah, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not going to fight anymore because I don't like the way that this is going. You're talking about a UFC fucking champion. He's not going to go out there and just quit because he didn't like the way that the fight was going. It's pretty clear that he didn't want to continue because couldn't fucking see. So if you're going to call him a quitter, then you should be going after Cyril Gane for being a fucking cheater, bud. Like, what are we doing here? Why is everyone, not everyone, why are half of the people going after Tom saying he's a quitter when the more reasonable thing that you should do is go after Cyril Gane for being the guy that poked him in the eye, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and a double eye poke to finish him off. Sounds a little bit more reasonable to me. Clearly from Paris. Should have been a 2-point deduction, 1 point for each eye. It's true. I don't know if I don't know what I'm coping about. Please tell me what I'm coping about, bud. Please tell me. Cejudo just confirmed his fight against Payton is his retirement fight. Where are you landing on your pick bet? I'm definitely taking Payton Talbot, bro. Definitely taking Payton Talbot. I have pictures of them signing with the belt. How much you want for it, bro? Of course you agree you had a bet on him? Bet on who? Send the picture and belt to PSA. That shit will be worth no less than $1,000. Definitely worth over $1,000. I mean, the replica belts are like damn near $1,000. Not for resale, but if you had a rep belt, not chat guys, not chat guys belt, who are the top 3 names you would want signed? Hey, I have no women's MMA. If I had a rep belt to get signed, top 3 names I would want to be signed on it. I would want Topuria. Probably Topuria. I mean, for like value-wise, I would probably go Topuria, Hamzat, and McGregor. But like top 3 guys I would want, I'd probably want Topuria, Charles, and probably like Poirier. Do you think Phil Rowe can get the upset over the Korean who upset Oban? Yes and no. I think he's probably going to lose a decision. But he could maybe pull it off. 323 is unranked lightweight tournament. I'm all here for it. I think the last 2 pay-per-views you got were pretty dang good, dude. MSG looks sick. Heavyweight is in deep shambles, dude. Walter Walker with an awful call out. He should have called out somebody in the top 5. Dude, he just wants another fucking heel hook win, dude. He would heel hook Hamdi so quick, it would be disgusting. Hot take, heavyweight division is in a worse spot than 125 before Moreno and Figgy saga. It is in a real bad spot. Enjoyed that saga. It was a interesting saga. But then the 4th fight, it was just like, get it over with, please. Heel hook round 1 was plus 420. Wow. I don't know where you can get that, but highlight of the card is Barnett being called Chocolate Peppa Pig. Yeah, that was, I loved it though. It was funny. Feel bad for Chris, but it's really bad. Fighters are allowed to have difficult moments or rounds in fights and still win or be good fighters. None of us have any idea what it's like to have 6-foot man huge. Yeah, that's true. They're probably big ass fucking fingers too. Tom fucking found out what it feels like to be fingered by an MMA fighter last night. He really did. Not just one finger, both. 2 fingers. 2 fingers in 2 different holes. Tom fucking found out. Brennan and Fig saved the division. Double D's and double cheeked. Double D's and double cheeked up on a Saturday morning. Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. The titties were tittying and the booty was bootying. Crazy to see Hamdi Barnett and then Gane explain. Dude, I literally had to have that conversation. It was Hamdi and Barnett be like, oh, these are heavyweights. And then we get to the main event and it's like, what weight class are these guys? They're heavyweights as well. They're just fucking athletic, tall, and good. Crazy shit. Wouldn't have been complaining if Dern's cheek came out. Yeah, the wrong cheeks came out. The cheeks that nobody wanted to see came out. Walter Walker and Aspinall used to be fat in the beginning of their UFC career, and now they're reasonably ripped. Walter's fucking yoked up now, dude. I did not watch the boxing fight, no. Let's stop kidding ourselves. Gane's takedown defense was better than we thought. He was training with Rugrug, the human. Yeah, I mean, well, he stopped the takedown with an eye poke. And that was the only takedown that he went for. Yeah, I guess that's true, Dan. I did forget about that. O'Malley's broken foot, I think. That did happen. Good call. Yeah. Rob was out before the bell. Okay, that makes sense. Did you see Allen adding? Yeah, I did see that. We talked about that. Crazy that people are counting out Tom considering he fought badly. And Gane fought very well, and the round was still very close. Easy to think Tom just gets better after the first round. It's true. I mean, can't make a lot of conclusions, boys. Thoughts on all the stand-ups by the refs yesterday? I was for it, man. I didn't think any of them were like terrible. Most of them were them just trying to stall. So I get it. Jalen Turner versus Edson Barbosa is a sick fight. That wasn't on my list for fights to finish the year. But what's your early lean? Yeah, shout out to Jalen Turner coming back from retirement. I knew it wasn't going to last. I think Jalen can beat him. I think Edson's kind of cooked at this point. I don't like the way Edson's been fighting. I think he's just too old. And Jalen's still not old. He's pretty young. Get Lucrative James on the live stream this week, brother. You two are the best in the game. I was going to try to get him on last week, but he was busy. I'll ask him this week, or maybe I'll try to ask him for the pay-per-view card, but I still got to get a guest for this week, so we'll see. But I'll try to get him back on for you, bro. Disney ESPN should allow for at least one refund per year. It would keep everyone honest. That's true. I mean, I feel like a no contest main event, you should get something back. You should get like 50% off your next pay-per-view or something. You should get something back. Because there's some people that just pay for the pay-per-view for the main event. And if you paid $80 for that main event and it ends in a no contest, pretty sure I'm going to want something back. I'm going to want, a rain check, like bring me back for the next pay-per-view and roll it over. Give me a free pay-per-view for UFC 322, or give me 50% off, or just fucking refund me, because we paid $80 for that main event and we didn't get to see the fight play out. Something's got to happen, man. I'm more upset I paid for the pay-per-view than I am the fact that I lost units on the fight. Yeah, that's brutal. I mean, I lost more units than the pay-per-view was worth. That's true. Gane must have trained with Chris Weidman with that triple eye poke game plan. Yeah, that one was bad. That one was really bad. And the fact that he still won the fight was crazy. Living vicariously through Jon Jones. He really is. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Hate the senior citizen refs who are brain dead tards. Trusted to figure out intent. The thing is, they're never going to call an eye poke intentional. They're just never going to do it. Let's be real. Anyone that thinks Cyril intentionally cheated had round one Tom bets. Anyone who thinks Tom seriously quit had Cyril bets. It's true, honestly. It's a pretty valid take. I wouldn't say it's an intentional eye poke, but it's it's something that you just shouldn't do. Like, you're not going to intentionally poke somebody's eye, but you are going to throw your hand out there to discourage them from coming towards you or discourage them from their action that they're actively in. So it's not intentional that they want to eye poke you, but they're trying to discourage what's going on and slow you down. So it is kind of intentional. I kind of take that back. Cejudo Triple C, the triple retirement. Worst part about not living in the States for me is not having a whole lineup of betting apps so I can bet different times. Betting money lines and over-unders have been brutal lately with all these dogs coming up. Gotta start taking some dog shots, I guess, boys. Holy shit. Fucking favorites are been absolute ass. Absolute ass. Everyone mad at Tom for not continuing on the Jon stands so they can discredit that everyone thinks Tom is the biggest threat to him. I mean, look, just watch Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Just watch however long the fight lasted, 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes. Watch Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. And then go back and watch Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic and tell me which is a higher level fight. You got the senior citizen Stipe versus the washed Jon Jones. Jon Jones took 3 rounds to finish a 50-year-old Stipe Miocic who was using a cane his entire training camp at the fire department. And then you could watch Cyril Gane, who's on every single substance that Abu Dhabi has available. He's training with the best in the world versus Tom Aspinall, who has knocked out everybody within the first 2 rounds in the UFC. Watch that fight between Tom and Cyril and watch Jon Jones versus Stipe. And you tell me which one's a higher level. I mean, it's pretty fucking easy. Anybody with a brain could watch those 2 fights and tell you those 2 guys that fought yesterday would beat the other 2. In 2026, we need Ilya to beat Arman and then face Islam. That is the fight aside from prayer. I don't think that, I mean, it looks like they're going to look and take Ilya versus Patty, dude. Ilya versus Patty seems like it's the fight that they're going to make. Solid picks for the belt. 3 of the funnest lightweights of this era. Agreed. I was going to say Holloway, but I went with Poirier, bro. I went with Poirier. Guess I'm retarded. Then LOI, because I think Tom could see. I mean, yeah, I think you're retarded, dude. I think you're retarded, bro. I should have on Walker 4th leg lock in a row. Hey, Jive, you different, bro? Should have tailed. I didn't tail it, dude. I didn't bet it. The odds weren't very good. Stipe Miocic and Burns also on the belt. Got it signed during International Fight Week. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Highlight of the card was actually that dude's head kick. It was sick. Fucking disgusting. Can't believe no one has talked about Sal Kildy. He got a lot of doubt this week with a step up in competition. It was the single highlight of the night. I didn't doubt him, boys. I didn't doubt him. I don't know if you guys saw my 3 trap bets of the week. One of them should have went to a draw. Klein, the favorite, at -135. Did cash, so I technically got that one wrong. But I also called out Nasrat as the trap of the week. Second trap bet of the week. Sal kill KO to Maran. And the third trap bet of the week was Tom Aspinall -400. And the way that the fight was looking, kind of looked like it could have been a little bit of a trap bet. I'm just saying. Those calls were not bad. Can't get on me about that. Got Ante D'Elia at underdog odds last night, but now he's flipped as a favorite against Waldo Cortez. I think he KOs Waldo or it somehow goes the distance. I don't know, man. Waldo's got a fucking brick head. I don't know if he's knocking out Waldo. Pavlovich couldn't do it. Gane looked nasty out there. Okay. White Flock is just all over Cyril Gane. Respect, though. I mean, you got to back your boy. You got to back your boy. The narrative around Tom up until the rematch is going to be insufferable, so annoying. Agreed. Shout out to Olajuwon. How you doing, bro? Speaking of big fat titties, doesn't Steve Asplin have a fight coming up? I think he does. I don't know if that's in November or December. I forget, but yeah, his titties are tittying. I had Leon beating Pratis on my parlay, changed my mind, so I cashed out for 1K. Yeah, pretty sure Pratis probably wins that. Volkov decision plus 700. What a G. What's next for Almeida? Probably the winner of Ante Delia versus Waldo, honestly. I could see that being the fight. Give him the winner between Ante Delia versus Waldo. Kind of makes sense. I know you're happy about the Volkov ticket cash, but did you think he won the fight? Wasn't sure how to feel about the fight. We went over this a little bit before, Mario, but I do think he should have won. If you want my official opinion, just rewatch a little bit back, but I'm not going to go over it again because I kind of went on a rant. Girlfriends want some action. Amram already fucked us all yesterday. She fucked me bad. She fucked me bad to start the night. That was the sign, dude. Once Amram fucked me real bad on that first fight, that was the sign it was going to be a rough card for me. New video has been released on Tom's channel showing footage after the eye where doctor examined his eye. Yeah, I watched that. It's a decent watch. Main event title fight couldn't end in a no contest. I know Aspinall I was very bad considering it was still closing today. What if they gave him unlimited time in a different situation? Unlimited time probably wouldn't do much, honestly, dude. As that killed a lot of my parlays. We're taking fence grabs serious with the point deduction, but not main event double. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for taking that back as you found you proved my point. Hey, Jive, this is why you're the realist. You take your L's and keep rolling with the punches, and you always have the greatest point of views. Never stop grinding, bro. We appreciate you. Appreciate that, Nick Kens. As much as I would want to win every fucking week, that's just not the case. And when I lose, I'll always own it. And I'm going to tell you right now, yesterday's card, the worst betting card I've had in over 2 years. So that one fucking hurt. It's very rare where, we're through the prelims and I haven't cashed a fucking bet. But that feeling, man, when you just can't get anything to go through the fucking hoop, it's fucking brutal. But there were a couple free plays that I did give out that hit. The many men parlay hit. The OV parlay hit. OVs go 4-0 once again in Abu Dhabi. Shocker there. So, I mean, there were a couple decent plays I gave out, but yeah, it was a tough night, man. Tough night. Had a fortune on Camilo and Seeking. Dude, that was the one that pissed me off the most. I was about to go so hard on Mateus Camilo. And then Coach Nick Sick texted me when he got to Abu Dhabi. He found out the fight was canceled. So I knew before everybody. And I was like, no, dude. No, dude. That was like that. I really feel like that was one of the freest bets of the year at plus 100. And then, of course, it gets canceled. It was just too good to be true. Like the Nutkick and Zach Reese fight, if that was a main event, they could have just gave him unlimited time. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. John would still smoke Gane, let's be honest. Maybe. Honestly, the first fight just looked fucking weird. Tom waited how long to fight Jon Jones? And in the end, John bitched out and vacated the belt. John had his chance and didn't want none of Tom. It's true. I mean, that was over a year layoff for Tom. Did I just freeze? Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. Lopez versus Murphy is rumored right now. I'm not completely counting out Murphy, but I think Diego is such a bad matchup for him. No bias either after meeting Diego. Yeah. Lopez versus Murphy. I don't feel like that's going to happen, but I do think Diego would be a tough fucking matchup for him. Just a marauder out there is Diego. It would be tough. I'm doing all right. Doing all right, Olajuwon, licking my wounds after last night's card or yesterday. I keep saying last night's. But yesterday's card, licking my fucking wounds. No, just moving on. Let me know if you agree. We say styles make fights. I feel like Dern's run is going to be short-lived based on what we've seen yesterday if she fights Suarez. No. I think she could beat Suarez, dude. I think she could beat Suarez. I think Suarez is unbelievably washed. But I do think, if Wei Lee goes back down to 115, she would KO Dern in 2 rounds. Mackenzie Dern being UFC champion is genuinely insane because I don't think she's an elite level fighter. She's good and she's scrappy, but I mean, she was 3-3 in her last 6 fights going into that fight with Verna. Like that's a UFC champion now. Girl that was 500 in her last 6 fights. Kind of insane. Next for Almeida could be Rakic, but I think Rakic needs to move up. I think he'd be a steady top 5 at heavyweight. I don't know, man. I've never been a Rakic guy, to be honest. Just felt like from the first few exchanges, the fight with Tom was going downhill. But as soon as I rewatched it, I was heavily surprised. Commentary plays a huge role. Yeah, because we're all expecting Tom to go in there and knock him out or finish him quickly because that's what he does to everybody. But since he didn't do that, then everyone kind of thinks, well, he's not doing what he normally does, so he's probably losing. He wasn't losing badly. I think it was competitive. I would score the first round for Cyril, but not by a wide margin by any means. So I do think if the fight continued, I would lean towards Cyril Gane because he has the 5-round experience. Tom hadn't gotten a takedown yet. Tom was the one that was bloodied up. So that's why I do say it looked to me like Cyril was on his way to winning. But at the end of the day, we don't know. So we can't make a ton of conclusions. Garcia KO. That fight is sick, dude. I can't wait for that one. The best next matchup for Almeida would be Rakic moving up and making his heavyweight debut. Both be former light heavyweights. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. UFC Van Mogged 321. Tom has to be glad he played out. It played out against Gane. If we quit against Jones, yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you imagine if Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones happened and Jon Jones eye pokes Tom Aspinall and Tom Aspinall can't continue because he got eye poked by Jon Jones? The MMA world would lose their fucking minds, man. Everybody that's riding Jon Jones would call Tom a quitter more than they are right now when Cyril Gane eye poked him. It would be the worst case scenario possible. Jon Jones eye poking Tom Aspinall. The world would be over. The world would be over. The buildings would be burning down. It would be a terrible scene. It would be a terrible scene. So thank God that did not happen. Next time we see a layoff for years, we need to check socials or something to see if they've been training. Mizuki had been training and she looks solid. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's a case-by-case basis, man. You never really know what you're going to get. The dude said Tom's a bitch for not fighting. The only way you get enjoyment is by shitting by Tom. Okay. What if Tom versus Gane was yeah. Could we imagine a no contest in that spot? Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of, you got to think about that, right? If you're Dana White, are you going to have Jon Jones at the White House when we just saw a main event of a pay-per-view get stopped via eye poke? You're probably not going to trust Jon Jones to be the main event of a White House when he's notorious for eye poking. If you make Pereira versus Jon Jones at the White House and Jon Jones pokes Alex Pereira in the eye and fucking blinds him in one eye and Alex Pereira can't continue, fuck, dude. That shit's over with. Elikana a lock? The dude he's fighting is pretty bad, so maybe, honestly. Gauthier versus Pfeiffer is going to happen one day. I hope it does. It'd be sick. If that happens, who the fuck Volk going to fight? They can't do that. Dare would get crushed again. Gane does another PP. What the fuck? I don't know how to read that, dude. Fight turns, no contest, DQ retains. I'm going to skip that. Sorry, bro. I don't know who needs to hear this, but in 2025, Tatiana Suarez and Patchy Mix are trash. That is true. Tatiana Suarez is washed bad. 321 was so bad. Not only did all of us probably lose money, we had to watch 5 rounds of Vern Dern over 5 rounds of Umar and Mario. It was 3 rounds. Main event was a stinker and it only had 2 KOs plus obese heavyweights. Yeah, man. 13 fights, only 2 KOs, and 1 submission. Only 3 finishes. It was a rough card, man. Fight goes the distance. That was a gift. I should have just played that, dude. What was I doing? Protest or Edwards? I got Protest, bro. On his way to winning is diabolical. Almeida needs to go back to jiu-jitsu. This is MMA. Agreed. Had Gane decision plus 1,000 taken and Gane late rounds. Might have been live. Might have. UFC needs to make a deal with Francis to save the heavyweight division. Please bring him back. Please. Dana seemed so upset in the press conference like Abu Dhabi sued him for such a bad card. They took back half of their payment. How long did it take for eyes to heal? Depends. Maybe it'll never heal. Hate Jones versus Alex. How can a main event at the White House not be for a belt? Then need fight at 205 if they want to fight. Yeah, I don't know. I think that fight could be okay without a belt. One fantasy match I would like. Sick is Mansour Abdul Malik versus Ateba Gautier. I think Gautier works him, bro. Makhachev versus Madalena. I'm really fucking open JDM wins, bro. Really fucking open. I made a lot of money off Dern decision. Volkov decision and Umar decision. There you go. I mean, if we had to watch Dern and Verna for 5 rounds over. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Tom quit because he was getting pieced up. Tom quit because he was getting pieced up. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Dern and Volkov saved my night. Shout out to the fucking legend, Alexander Drago Volkov. Fucking love that guy. He's just a G. Just a G. 37 years of age. He's got like 60 fucking fights. Still doing the damn thing. What a G. The gargantuan Patty Pimblett. All right, boys. I'm going to hop out of here. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Like the live for me before you go. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back here. No early picks video for me this week. Had to do some shit around the house, you know. A little upkeep on the old crib. So couldn't get the video out today. Probably just going to skip it this week. It's an Apex card. We'll be back throughout the week with the most confident picks on Wednesday, Thursday, DFS stuff. No bets locked in, but I'll have some bets locked in pretty soon throughout the week. Get in the lab, get some film study going. It's going to be a good card, honestly. I thought this week's Apex card is pretty good. For an Apex card, I'm with it. Should be some violence, should be some good matchups. So I like it. But appreciate y'all. I'm going to hop out of here. Until next time, hey, job picks.